I used to play in the Hebrides bar, and that's where I met Gina. And in those days, I used to be privy to what was called a lock-in. But now I'm lucky if I didn't get locked out.
You used to have a regular spot, was it on a Thursday night? A regular spot, aye. Now it's huge.
I used to have a regular spot at the Hebrides bar,
But
Market Street.
funnily enough, I worked on the shifts I did was a Sunday and a Tuesday.
Aye.
Tuesday was horrendous because it was gyro day and we had all these nightmare people and used to come in and we used to have to break up fights and things. But anyway, you were a Thursday night, but I used to come along to see you, pick myself up at the end of the bar and stalked him basically.
Well, next up, folks, we've got a few cowboy songs. I'm sure there's a few cowboys and cowgirls in the Central Bar tonight. So to all you cowboys and cowgirls, it's great to be here Saturday night in the Central.
I'm Andy Chung. I play folk music for a living, round and about Scotland, and I've been doing it now for 26, 27 years. Alistair Gailey playing the guitar. It was a Fender Telecaster he had, a copy of a Fender Telecaster. And we used to watch him go up to his room and he'd practice with his mates at school and whatever, and mates from school. And me and my brother used to go and watch him, and eventually he bought another guitar. So he sold the guitar to my brother, and my brother started playing the guitar. He must have been about 9 years old at the time, got a few lessons from Alistair. And that kind of set him on the way. And of course I enjoyed listening to it. It was always something I found very difficult to do. And to see somebody sitting right in front of you playing, and we had friends that would play the accordion that used to come round to our house, but the guitar was something that certainly I felt I could get into, even though it was quite a few years later before I really started playing. We moved back to Kirkcaldy in the mid-70s, where I was born, and by the time you're a teenager, at that time, in the late 70s, everybody was forming bands. I don't know how many bands were at our school. Everybody had a band, everybody was in a band, everybody played in a band. My folks, my parents, at times have been very supportive. At other times, I think they were a bit concerned about what I was going to be doing with my life, like a lot of parents about their kids. But I have to say, even from when I was really young, my dad always used to like to hear me singing, and I used to sing for my mum and dad, in the house, good thing. My parents came to see me. I got a gig one summer during the Edinburgh Festival. In fact, Ronnie Brown for the Corries was on the same bill, and was playing in Princess Street Gardens. And unknown to me, my parents had turned up. They came over Kirkcaldy for the day, and I was playing the set. Everything was going fine, and then I noticed this wee woman coming up and taking photographs. And I thought she was a tourist, she was taking photographs, and then she started waving. And I didn't have my glasses on, I couldn't see who it was, And she started waving, and I thought, my goodness, here's my mother, she'd come over. And it was me thinking she was a tourist, so I sang a song for them.
This is a wee song I'd like to sing for my folks, for my parents, this one. 紅年盛放，天氣暖洋洋，英姿勃發堪景仰。英雄說力爭向上，紅面獨有傲骨幹。
I think about my dad a lot of the time. He was very, very much into his music, and obviously the Hong Kong culture and Chinese culture, but he was also a big Elvis fan. And that's initially why I started singing Elvis songs. you know, to please the old man, you know, because he'd always ask me for Elvis, you know, and in fact, you know, because my Cantonese wasn't as good as it should be when I was growing up, he would, oh, never mind Cantonese song, sing me Elvis, you know, better Elvis.
Oh, treat me like a fool, treat me mean, girl, but love me. Break this faithful heart, tear it all apart, but love me. Oh, if you ever go, darling, I'll be home.
Passing off Johnny and his dad, I was certainly very much part of Andy's life then when that happened, and there's been several songs since then that you have written since that happened. So, you know, and it's really, when you listen, it just brings a tear to your eye when you listen to those tunes. You really get a picture of how Andy feels about his dad, you know, felt about his dad, still does, and how he influenced him.
People that I meet have a big influence. You know, there's always suggestions of songs I might do, and you know, things I might listen to. You know, and that's where to me that's where all the influence comes from. It's from people at large. You know, it's from the persons that are sitting next to you or whatever. You know, they'll tell you something. You know, and it sets you on a certain trail. You know, to go and check it out. You know, to go and learn it. You know, and to learn from it. You know, kind of thing as well. You know, it looks like join the dots. Oh, I started playing this traditional Scottish stuff. I was playing in Shades Bar in the Buckminster Road, and there was a woman called Anne Beveridge used to run it with her family. And she says, "Oh, you play all this pop stuff. Do you not play any Scottish tunes?" I says, "Well, came the Flower of Scotland. You went all the Corries. You know any other Corrie songs?" "Nah, didn't ken any other Corrie songs." "Right, okay. Come in next week and I'll give you videos, and I'll give you some cassettes at the time." The Corries. So that was it, one by one. So I watched this stuff, and it was a revelation. It was great because so many of these tunes I'd never heard before. In fact, the majority of it I'd never heard before. And then you realise that a lot of the stuff they were singing, they were kind of dusting off and renovating from 100 years ago, 200 years ago, Scottish traditional songs. And then of course once, you know, you're keyed into that kind of sound and that kind of style that we're doing, you realise that folk are playing it up the street, folk are playing it in the town.
The cataracts roar, shed of smooth flowing fountains. I sigh for the valley of dark Loch Nagar. Does there my footsteps in?
See a song like Dat Loch Nagar. Now Dat Loch Nagar, the words were written by Byron, you know, Lord Byron, and to me, you know, whenever I play it, it surprises me how many folk know it. You know, various people have done versions of it, and to me, to be part of the tradition of the folk that have done versions of it, like the Corries, like Callum Kennedy, a great version of it, you know, Andy Stewart, you know, and again, it's you know, well over 200 years old.
Brave Caledonia, dear thy mountains, around their white summits, the elders warm. Though cataracts roar, shed of smooth flowing fountains, I sigh for the valley of Dark Loch Nagar.
Certainly, you're there to entertain folk in a pub. You know, if folk walk in and they're maybe a bit fed up or whatever and leave happier than they came in, then that's a result. You know, it's a good result. That's what it's for. You know, if you sit in your living room all the time, there's not going to be an old pal that's going to walk through the door or a stranger that'll become a friend.
My heart was broken. My heart was broken. Solo, 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 solo.
played the Candlemaker Arms, and these are all residencies that were weekly. I got a gig on a Monday night along at the Rayburn House Hotel, just along the road there, and ended up getting a session at the Royal Oak. And that was 6 years I spent there every Sunday night, every Monday, and then other points of the week I'd be elsewhere. I'd find myself in Easter Road, in what used to be Eddie Turnbull's pub, what was the Thistle at that time. We used to play in there every Saturday, and it's still, the trail still continues, the trip still continues. I go up north a lot, I go over to the islands, Highlands and Islands. Learn to sing a bit of Gaelic, you know, and from somebody from my background, my old man's background. He came from Hong Kong in 1958. It's quite a journey, you know. Rock the wind on a clear day's dawning, blows the clouds, here stir gaudy o'er the bay. But there's mair nor a rock wind blowing o'er this great glen o' the world the day. It's a thought that could garrow rottens o' the rogues that gang gallus fresh and gay. Tak the road to seek the lonings, for the rill ploys to sport and play. Nae mair will our bonny callants merch to war when those braggarts cruise lay craw. Nor we wains frae Pettied and Clachan, mon the ships sailing down the broomy law. Broken families and lands we ferret, Wilker Scotland the brave, nae mair, nae mair. Black and white until their merit, mag the vile barracks of their meisters bear. Oh, come on, ye a team with freedom, never heed what the hoodies croak for doom. In our house, oh, the bairns o' Adam can find breed, barley brie and painted room. When MacLean meets with his friends in Springburn, all the roses and gains will turn to bloom. When the black boy for yon Nyanga dings the fell gallows o' the burgers doon, rock the wind on a clear day's dawning, blows the clouds, here stir gaudy o'er the bay. But there's mair nor a rock wind blowing o'er this great glen o'er world the day.